Good morning, everyone. How are y'all doing today? My name is Monty. I am a creative entrepreneur working to develop my videography, photography, writing, music, all those fun skills so that I can kind of, develop as a creative, as a content creator. Today is daily vlog number 40, actually. So I'm actually doing 2 vlogs today, so I got to make sure I remember which number I'm at. But right now, I wanted to come down and get me an oil change today because I need to get that done. Wasn't quite able to, so I'm scheduling that for tomorrow, so y'all see some of that, next couple of days. Today we have our pastor's meeting. I got some brainstorming stuff that's going to be going on. It's going to be quite the adventurous day today. But today I'm going to kind of talk to y'all about my creative process, how I go about some things, and how you can kind of apply maybe my process, maybe into little tidbits of your life to help you develop. So yeah, that's where we're going today. But welcome to the daily vlog, and we're off. Here we go. Hot. My glasses are fogging up. Okay, so this morning, first things first, before we get into anything else, I want y'all to know that yes, I am driving right now, but I am kind of doing it in the safest way that I can possibly do it while still accomplishing stuff. I have the camera set up, I'm not touching it, I just let it play through the entire way. I have 30 minutes to record all the stuff that I want to before it stops, or when I finally decide to pull over and, stop the tape. But I am safe, I'm not doing anything crazy, so don't think that I'm a, psycho for trying to film and drive at the same time. Speaking of driving and, doing things that, you really don't have much control over while you're doing them, I think, this is one of the prime times for me during the creative process. Doing some of those idle tasks that, yes, require my utmost, focus and dedication to. I need to make sure I'm focusing on the road, but at the same time, I can let my mind do some of its best work. I'm able to work on this while I'm driving, while I'm sitting around doing something else, because it's that in between time. Yeah, the driving is a very focused thing. You need to make sure you're looking at the road, you're doing the speed limit, you're doing all that stuff. But you hold conversations, you listen to the radio, some people put on their makeup, not advised. There's so many things that you do while you're driving, while you're riding along. And my thoughts are, why not set up a recorder and, start recording, do stuff. During my driving, this is when I kind of like to set up my, either this camera, which is not nearly as good because it's hard to stabilize, or I'll set my phone up here and have it facing towards me and, record myself talking onto that. And that time is an amazing time for me to get ideas off my chest, to express things. And for me, on the creative process, that is the first step to, getting into the mode, getting creative, developing, new stuff. To do it when the moment strikes, not to wait till later on, not to, drag my feet about it and think of an idea and, oh no, I don't have a piece of paper, or oh, I'm not recording right now, so how am I going to get this down? And no. I need to make sure that I'm ready in those moments when it comes along to get the stuff out there, to get it on paper, and in this case, put it on video. So that's one of the first things with my creative process is I have to make sure that I'm ready to strike when the iron's hot. Make sure that I'm ready to put the stuff down on paper, on pen, on video when it's burning, when it's ready to go. So part number 2 about my creative process is that I have to stop worrying about everything being just right. So I'm not what you would call a perfectionist. I'm far from it. I have a hard time seeing the details sometimes, and it's caused me a lot of issues over there. I see a very broad picture of things. But at the same time, if I do notice an issue, if I do notice something, that's not quite right, I get rid of it. I toss it. If I notice I can't get something just perfect how I want it, then I stop working at it. And this has been kind of an issue for me over my entire life. I guess the first part of it is I do have ADHD. That you can look at past videos and hear all more fun stuff about that. One thing that is caused is for me to jump around between multiple topics. And so if something doesn't come easy to me sometimes, I give up and I move on to the next thing because I actually have to put effort and work into it. Understanding to get away from that perfection, that easiness Like, perfection is easiness in my mind. So that's how I view it. To make something just how I want it, if it doesn't come easy, then I don't really want to do it. It's never going to be perfect, and so I stop. Getting away from perfection, getting away from a desire to see everything just right, that allows for me to kind of move forward in the creative process, develop ideas, do multiple ideas. The great thing about having ADHD is I have tons and tons of ideas that pop into my head. The bad part about ADHD is that I have tons and tons and tons of ideas in my head. So if I'm taking too long on one idea, I just move on to the next thing and call it a day. You have to learn to kind of get away from that. What I mean by stop worrying about perfection. I don't need to worry about that idea getting just right. I just need to get it. Just get it done, get it out there and go. And that's how I'll continue to work out my creative process and to, become better and develop as a filmmaker, as a writer, as a musician. That's how it's always been for me, and that's how, I'll continue to work at it. So this camera angle is really weird. Rotate this thing like crazy. So the next important part of the creative process is coffee. No, I'm joking. Coffee is not part of the creative process, but I do enjoy it nonetheless. So. Coffee, 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 coffee.
Hello, how can I help you?
Yes, ma'am. Can I get a large iced coffee, please, with the coconut caramel? Hello? Doing good, man. How are you? Good. Thank you much. Healthy? Oh, no, it fell over. And, okay. And now we're stopped for a moment to enjoy this delicious nectar of the gods. Ooh, that's a lot of sugar. The next thing about my creative process is spontaneity. And by spontaneity, I mean spontaneous ideas, thoughts, creativeness, thinking outside the box, doing something different, doing something I've never done before, trying new things. You got to try new foods because they might taste good. Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood, if no one's seen that, go check that out. It's really fun to watch. Spontaneous creativeness is not something that, comes natural to a lot of people. A lot of people like structure, they like routine, they like regimented, perfect. And there's a time and a place for that. Like in my life, I love structure. I joined the military. That structure, like knowing, hey, I need to be here at this time, at this place, in this uniform. I lived here. This is what I did. This is where my rules. Man, that helps me. That helps me so much to get my life under control and to be able to grow as a human being. In the creative side of things, sometimes I gotta forget about all that. I gotta try something crazy. I gotta try something new to help, get that creative juices flowing, get that creative process moving forward. For me, trying something different, trying photography, here soon I want to try doing a black and white shoot because that sounds fun, something different, something new. I want to try doing, let's see, what's something crazy that I can be doing. Maybe one day I'll do kayaking or something. I want to skydive one day. Why not? That'll be fun. That's gonna be great. I love hiking. Oh, hiking with only one lens? That's a crazy idea. Why would I only take one lens? Oh, and it's a macro lens? Like, little crazy spontaneous things can cause some of the most creative moments, especially for me. And so that's kind of the next thought on my creative process is being spontaneous and letting that kind of fuel you. Yeah. Donut time. I'm about to do a donut montage. Hey, you know what? Why not? I'm gonna do a donut montage. That's gonna be fun. Okay, that's enough of the donut montage. Now you get coffee. I'm not doing a montage of coffee. The next thing kind of on my list of things for my creative process is getting it down. Doesn't mean necessarily getting down, that skill or that ability, but getting down your idea, your thoughts into a physical form at some point. Now, something I've found that recently, and it kind of makes me really sad, is I don't really do a very great job of writing stuff down. Now, I don't mean that I don't actually write stuff down. I do all the time. I write down ideas and thoughts and things of that nature. But my problem is I never come back to them. For a lot of times, for me, it's a very spontaneous thing. I have an idea and I need to do it right then, or if I don't, it's going to eventually flutter away. Even if I write down every thought, like every detail of the idea, eventually it's going to falter and I'm going to move on to the next thing. Getting something like down and going is a very key component for me for my creative process. Which takes me to my next thought as well, is find your method. Find how you go about creating stuff. Everyone is going to be different. Like I have done so much studying on different methods of learning and reading and project management and creative thinking and ideas, and they're all wonderful, great thoughts and things, but some of them are good, some of them work. None of them are exact. I don't use any of them the exact way that the people say to use them. Like mind mapping, I've tried mind mapping. Sometimes it works. It works really well with certain creative things, like trying to develop a D&D campaign, or trying to develop a board game, or trying to flesh out something a little larger like that. It works out really well when I need to have everything kind of laid out before me and see it all in a broad picture. For filming and for doing this storytelling, even like in a book, not really at all. It's not very effective for me. My best method for when I'm writing a book or an article or anything like that is actually just a basic outline and not very detailed at all. Like going into too much detail will actually cause me more issues, because then I'll get bogged down by the detail and then it just kind of falls apart from there. Work to kind of find your methodology. I'm still, even to this day, even though I have kind of a sequence of things that I go through, I kind of have a step-by-step of process for creating. An example. Actually, I should probably give y'all an example. Let's go with making my daily vlogs. This is very different from me writing a book. Kind of as an example, I think it works. I wake up in the morning. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about generally. Sometimes, like, I wrote down a few ideas for vlogs for the rest of the week, but most of the time it's wake up in the morning and I begin editing the day before's footage at about 5 a.m. That's my wake up time currently. It's going to be changing because I change schedules, but that's all part of it as well. Once I've done that, I've uploaded it, I'm good. The rest of the day starts with me actually going through and seeing what's going to happen for that day. I might have kind of a basic thoughts of what I'm going to do. It's almost very documentary-ish. Like today, I kind of had an idea that I was going to talk about, my creative process a little bit this morning, but I had no idea how that was going to flow. I actually had a whole different idea when I was going to get the oil changed of, doing stuff on that. It kind of changed because the day changes. That's kind of how a daily vlog works. So I have the basic idea. Some people like to write that idea down, and if I have like points that I really need to go in depth on, I'll do that. Kind of this is more kind of free thinking than it is, very orthodox. Kind of just spewing ideas at y'all. It's yeah, that's part of who I am. So I'll get the basic idea and I'll start going through the day and I'll see things as I'm going that make me say, hey, that'll work good. This is a good spot. Oh, this is a good moment right here. And then I'll work with that to create the piece. I try to get it all uploaded that night, generally after work. I'll try to upload all the footage onto my computer. That way I'm ready in the morning. As soon as I wake up, I get my orange juice, I get my cereal, I'll sit down at the computer and I just start editing. Yeah, if I don't do that in the morning, I'm like all thrown off. if that structure in the morning doesn't happen, it's probably going to turn into a rough day because I don't know, I'm out of whack. So having kind of that rigid structure helps, but remember, flexibility is a very big key to a lot of this. So, I actually really like the lighting right now from the sun. Like, this harsh light is not something that most people enjoy, but I actually kind of like how it looks in the Okay, well, I think that's going to be it for today. I kind of gave y'all an example, walk through, some of my thoughts on my creative process. I don't know if any of that's going to help, but gives you kind of a peek into how my mind works and how I go about things. But if you enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up button, give me a like. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down, let me know why. Definitely want to improve it. I don't know how well this video quality is going to be just because of the driving portion. I think it'll be pretty good. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell. That way you get notifications when I post new videos. And find me over on Instagram and Facebook, Monty P. Holt. Post mainly photos over on Instagram and kind of a myriad of different things over on Facebook. So yeah. But that is all from me today. Y'all have a good one. Take care. God bless.